In the heart of Olokun village, where the red earth met the dense green of the forest, there lived a woman both feared and adored, Mama Agba. Her compound stood alone at the edge of the woods, wrapped in vines and whispers. People said she could talk to spirits, cure curses, and even turn lies into fire. With silver coils in her hair and eyes sharp like a hawk's, one hot afternoon a young woman named Aduke arrived at Mama Agba's hut, clutching her belly and shivering despite the sun. Her fiancé had vanished 3 days before their wedding, and strange shadows now followed her every night. Mama Agba listened without blinking, then plucked a black feather from a calabash filled with salt and bones. "You've been marked," she said, "not by man, but by memory. And memory is harder to kill." The villagers watched from behind doors and kola trees as the Duke remained inside Mama Agba's home for 3 days. Smoke of different colours spiraled from the rooftop each evening, blue, green, then blood red. Some said they heard crying, others said they heard laughter that wasn't human. On the 4th day, a Duke stepped out wearing a wrapper of ash and a necklace of snail shells. From then on, people came not just for healing, but for truth. A chief who beat his wife came crawling to Mama Agba, begging her to lift a curse when his yam barns rotted overnight. A rich widow came to ask why all her suitors went mad after proposing. Mama Agba helped them, but her help always came with a price and a proverb. Secrets, she would say, are living things. If you feed them silence, they grow teeth. But it wasn't until the governor's son arrived, sick with an illness that made every mirror in the palace shatter, that the village truly saw what Mama Agba was. She walked barefoot to the palace, whispered into the boy's ear, and all the glass returned whole. Yet she looked deeply into the governor's eyes and said, "Your ancestors are screaming. You stole something. Return it before the land swallows your name." By the next morning the governor had collapsed. Buried beneath his bed was a box of sacred stones, stolen from a shrine 20 years before. The scandal rocked the region, but Mama Agba didn't stay to watch. She was already back at her compound, stirring a pot that sang songs in a forgotten tongue. And on moonless nights, when the frogs go silent and the owls speak in pairs, villagers swear they see her shadow walking through the trees, sometimes alone, sometimes accompanied by glowing spirits, but always, always with a secret in her hand. One evening a loud knock echoed through Mama Agba's compound, sharp, desperate and unrelenting. She opened the door to find a young boy, barely 12, eyes wide with terror. "My sister," he cried. "She walked into the forest last night, but only her voice came back." His words trembled, but Mama Agba's face remained stone still. She reached behind her curtain and pulled out a bottle filled with the river water that shimmered like moonlight. "What calls her," she said, "is older than language and jealous of laughter." By dawn, Mama Agba had entered the forest barefoot, chanting softly in a tongue even the birds fell silent to hear. The trees leaned closer as if to listen. She followed the echo of a girl's lullaby, haunting and broken, until she reached the heart of the woods, a circle of stones none dared step into. There in the centre sat the girl, her eyes empty, her body still. Mama Agba didn't speak. She only opened the bottle and poured its contents onto the earth. Instantly the air pulsed, and the girl gasped as if waking from a dream. But when they returned to the village, the girl whispered something that chilled even the strongest warriors. "Something followed us back." That night, every goat in the village screamed before falling silent. Doors creaked without wind. Shadows lingered too long. Mama Agba stood in her doorway with a gourd of burning herbs, watching, waiting. "Not everything can be sent back," she muttered. "Some spirits want to be seen." Over the next few days, strange gifts appeared at her doorstep. A rooster with golden feathers, kola nuts arranged in the shape of an eye, and once a baby with skin like midnight and teeth already formed. Mama Agba raised the child without question. "She will speak for the ones who have no mouths," she said, cradling the infant against her chest. The villagers dared not ask what that meant, but they whispered prayers when passing her gate. One night the wind stopped altogether. Not a rustle, not a hum. The stars blinked out one by one like snuffed candles. Mama Agba lit 7 lanterns and drew a circle in front of her hut with white chalk. She sat in the centre, her voice rising in a low hum. From the trees came a woman in a red wrapper, eyes like molten bronze, lips dripping with black honey. "You've meddled long enough," the spirit hissed. "The veil is thinning because of you." Mama Agba did not flinch. "The veil was already torn," she said calmly. "I'm only stitching what your hunger unravelled." The spirit lunged, but the lanterns blazed with blinding fire. Thunder cracked, though the skies were clear. The earth beneath them split slightly, just enough for a scream to escape. By morning the forest was still again. The lanterns had burned out, and Mama Agba was gone. In her place stood the child, now 5 years older, her eyes glowing faintly. She wore Mama Agba's silver bracelets and held her staff. Without speaking, she turned and walked back into the hut. The door closed behind her, and the whispers began again. Some say Mama Agba passed her power on. Others say she simply became part of the land, earth, spirit, and memory. But one thing is certain. When trouble brews in Olokun village, when secrets grow teeth and shadows grow legs, the people still leave offerings at the hut by the woods. And the next morning, something always answers. Follow for more amazing stories. Like and comment for part 2.